Welcome to my weekend vlog. Not really going to call it a reading vlog because I'm not necessarily reading in the video, just catching you up, just to keep a Sunday schedule. I'm watching the Thursday Murder Club on Netflix. I'm loving it. It's probably the first time I'm seeing a movie that is based on a book that I have read. So it's really cool to see all the characters, and knowing the characters from that book series, you do tend to get a little bit emotional when you see them in live action. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm just loading my dishwasher, and I'm picking out books for a video for this week. I skipped last week just because I wasn't ready to make it, and I wasn't going to pull out books and rush it. So I'm just writing some blurbs about the books and, you know, writing down the characters' names because I tend to forget things when it's time to talk about them, just to keep little tabs on everything. And yeah, a lot of the books I don't actually have because it was either out from the library or on audio on Spotify. So, which I guess is good, so I don't have these things piling up, but they were books that I enjoyed. But yeah, I'm okay with that. I think I'm going to do a video about contemporary fiction and, you know, borderline literary fiction, unless I keep that separate and do another video for that and just keep this mainly contemporary. And it's like, well, what is contemporary? It's, you know, set in modern times. But then if you have a book from 1960 that was contemporary, that's now considered historical fiction. That's why just read to read. Just enjoy what you're reading. Yeah, that might be a little bit borderline literary fiction, but stuff that is really literary fiction, I'll definitely do a different video about that. And doing dishes. So up here, I had a bunch of architecture books, and I took those down. I brought them to the library for donations. I haven't looked at them in years, and yeah, nothing interesting, nothing about architectural history, more like technical stuff that you use when you're in school for interior design or architecture. And then I put all of the Matt Dinniman books here, Dungeon Crawler Carl and Three Body Problem. They were up here. It's just, yeah, so I moved the Friends Lego set. And yeah, just trying to make more space and declutter. And there's a bunch of toys around too. Sky Daddy is finished. I was curious to see how it was going to end. Yeah, interesting book. I won't tell you what I rated it, because if I say what I rated it, you'll be like, oh, I'm not going to read that. And I think some people might be interested in reading that. It was definitely a different kind of read for me. It's, you know, it reads like a romance, but it's not, because it's with a plane. So that's weird. Sorry, I'm chewing gum. But it was definitely very different than other books I have read. The character of Linda, you know, she's slowly but surely becoming more unhinged about this thing with planes. And, you know, her friends are concerned about her. Not that they know what's going on, but, you know, she drops hints here and there about planes. And they're like, Linda, what are you talking about? You're crazy. In a friendly kind of way. The ending was ambiguous, which I feel like everything I'm reading lately ends like that. I wish it had a more definite ending of what's going on. It was dark, definitely dark, so if you're not into dark books, don't read that. But yeah, Sky Daddy is done, which means now I'll pick something else to read on audio in the car. So who knows what that'll be. Maybe an Emily Henry book or an Abby Jimenez, because I wanted to get on to another romance contemporary book. Okay, now that Sky Daddy is finished, Sky Daddy, I have to pick a new book for the car, Spotify rather. Listen for the Lie, a novel. by Amy Tintera. Anywhere with You, I bought that, so I'm not going to listen to that on audio. Automatic Noodle, I bought that. It's a cozy book. I'll read that for bed. People We Meet on Vacation. So I added a bunch of Emily Henry books because I really enjoyed the one that I read, and I cannot remember the name of it. The one where the girl's fiance breaks off the wedding and she winds up moving in with the woman who's now dating her ex-fiance's boyfriend. I really enjoyed it, so I want to read some more Emily Henry, some more romance. I did want to add some Abby Jimenez in there because I hear good things about her books too. So I got to pick one of those. Wow, there's a lot of Emily Henrys in here. Beautyland, Tartufo, which I started. It was just too many characters. I'm driving and I just couldn't keep up with who's who. Universality, which was nominated on the long list for Booker Award. But I feel like Booker books don't get great reviews. So I don't know why they're so popular. Maybe somebody could tell me. Hombrecito, that's been there for a while. And The Three Lives of Kate K. Tomorrow, I DNF'd. I didn't enjoy it. The Other Valley, I have to check out what that's even about. I don't remember. Swift and Saddled, I added that because I think the covers of that series are awesome. Wow, there's stuff that's in here for a long time. These are books I'd rather read physically, like James. All Fours, I think I decided not to read that anymore. Good Material. Yeah, this is stuff I added randomly when I was like, oh, I'm interested in that, but now I'm not. Learn Spanish. Yeah, that'd be good. And We Used to Live Here. Yeah, I was just throwing everything in here. Babel, I had that on physical book, which I think I'd rather read that. The God of Endings, I have a physical copy. Demon Copperhead, I don't know if that's a good book to listen to. It sounds too complicated. And Speech Team, I don't own that book. And The Midnight Library, that's a cozy book, it's better for bed. Gallant, I own that. Yeah, I think it's going to be an Emily Henry book or Abby Jimenez, so I'm going to have to go through this list again to pick out my next car audiobook listen to book. And now I'm just going to stop in and get some coffee. Come here. I'm in love with you. No, get away. But I love you. So should you read Sky Daddy? I think you should. After finishing it, and I'm thinking about it, and it's different. And it's nice to read something that's different. I think we're used to horror books being weird and something strange happening. Science fiction books being strange and weird and unexpected things to occur. But for a contemporary fiction, and I don't know if this is classified as romance or not, but it's definitely different, and it's nice to read something that's just out of the ordinary to experience. And it made me very anxious at times and very cringy, just what happens in the book. And I think that if you want it to be, is the point of reading, to make you feel something, whether it's compassion or distaste for some topic or indifference or whatever it is. But yeah, it definitely hit me how different this book is and what this woman Linda is experiencing and going through, and the somewhat of a support system that she has with her very tight friend group, if you even want to call it a friend group. One very close friend and a few floater friends, and her family. If you want to experience something very different, unexpected, and a non-horror, non-magical realism, non-speculative fiction, something that could happen in the real world, it makes me think of that TV show that was probably on TLC, where, someone would eat paper or drink gasoline. Just these weird obsessions that people have or addictions that they have. You know, this woman, Linda, wants to be in a relationship with an airplane. And the more I think about it, I definitely think it's worth a read. And I'm not going to tell you what my rating is, because it doesn't matter if I rated it 5 stars, 4 stars, or 3.5 stars, 3 stars. You know, whether or not some elements did not live up to a 5-star read. And who am I to decide what is a 5-star or what is a 2-star read? Did I enjoy it? I did enjoy it. It made me feel things, you know, and it was a fun experience. I did listen to it on audio. I think the narrator on Spotify did a great job. But yeah, I would definitely recommend reading Sky Daddy by Kate Folk, and I'm interested in seeing what she writes next, if she's going to do something strange again. And again, without the element of magical realism or, you know, some otherworldly element taking play to make the story happen. So check out Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. As for The Spear That Cuts Through Water, I have 1.5 more chapters left. The final chapter, and then I guess the epilogue. I enjoyed the book a lot. You know, I haven't read a lot of fantasy, so I can't say whether or not, if you're into fantasy, you should read it or not. And it is considered high fantasy. It's not epic. It's not confusing. I think the characters are well written. They're great. The relationships between the characters are great. And I think I can make those assessments. I'm literally 1.5 chapters away from finishing it. The story is fantastic. Great premise for a story about, we've talked about it before, and I don't want to give too much of the book away, but it's basically about a god that comes down to Earth, in order to come down to Earth, makes a deal with a man who becomes the emperor, and his 3 sons rule the land. And the sons are called the 3 terrors. They really are just terror. They're terrible, terrorizing people, as well as the emperor. And the 2 main characters, June and Kima, 2 great characters, and their relationship, which starts off rough. Obviously, it's a book, or even in a movie, they start to get along. It is considered queer fantasy. It's not a heavy queer fantasy novel. There's no steamy scenes if you're not interested in that. It just happens that the characters are queer. And I think that is great for representation. If you think about, if that's the deciding factor for you not to read this book, I say give it a try. It's not going to scare you. And consider the fact that how many people in the queer community have been reading characters that are straight for centuries. You know, why not just give it a try? I don't think it would hinder the story at all. I think they were great characters. The relationship between them that develops is very endearing. Yeah, so don't hold that against the book if you're not into queer literature or thinking of trying queer literature, especially in the fantasy genre. So I do recommend The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. I thought it was a fun, fantastical read, and I think you'll enjoy it. The Dallergut Dream Department Store, I'm not enjoying it. I only read a few pages before I go to bed. I think I'm up to chapter 5, and it's just not for me. I'm just not interested enough. I'm probably going to put it down. Maybe I'll come back to it at another time and try it again. I just don't find it all that interesting. I don't find it enthralling. It's not pulling me in. I did not enjoy Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't exciting enough. And not that a book has to be exciting. There's just nothing keeping me. It might be a little bit too cozy or a different kind of cozy. I loved Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. That's the kind of cozy that I enjoy. This is a different kind of cozy. So for now, I think I'm through with coffee shop style cozy books. I do want to read The Spell Shop, which I have. I want to get to that. Again, my quest to read what's on my shelves instead of buying new books. So for now, the Dallergut Dream Department Store will not be read. I'm going to put it down for a bit. If I ever get back to it, who knows? There's too many books to read, and I'd rather move on to something that interests me more. Like I said, The Spell Shop, or that Halloween book I bought, or that Golden Girls mystery book that might be a little bit more my speed as far as cozy goes. So with that said, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.